Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Hamlet, a poem written by Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka wrote this poem when he was imprisoned in Nigeria. And in this poem, he compares himself and empathizes with Shakespeare's character Hamlet. Though outwardly the poem may refer to only the character of Shakespeare, there are many references which proves that it is also implying to Soyinka's own life in prison. And here Soyinka puts a link between himself and Shakespeare's Hamlet, and he has written this poem in a sonnet form. The first stanza goes like this. He stilled his doubts. Here he refers to Hamlet and he says that Hamlet had lots of doubts about the murder of his father, whether it was a murder or whether it was a natural death, and whether his father's brother Claudius had killed him or not, because the ghost of his father had come and told him that he was poisoned by his brother and that caused his death. But though he had all the doubts, he stopped his doubts. They rose to a halt and lame. He was not able to take any actions because he was not very sure whether it was a dream or whether it was something real which happened in his life. A resolution on the rack. He was not able to decide. Passion's flame was doused in fear of error because though he wanted to take revenge, he had a fear of making an error. He did not want to commit any error. His mind's unease bred indulgence to the state's disease. And because his mind was not able to take a decision, it led the state's disease. Now, here we find that Hamlet was reluctant to act on the ghost revelation because the ghost of his father came and told him that he was poisoned to death. And though he was provoked, Hamlet had the habit of thinking and analyzing every action. And in the same way, here, what happened is he was not able to take any revenge against his father's brother Claudius, and that slowed him up. And because of the fear that the ghost accusation may be untrue, allowed his uncle Claudius to enjoy his incestuous love for the queen, that is Hamlet's mother, and continue wearing his borrowed kingly robes, that is Hamlet's father's kingly robes. He became the king. And here the state's disease refers to Elizabethan idea that the king is the person who sustains the life-giving power at the heart of all things in the state. That is, if the king is correct, the state will be correct. If the king is religious or concentrates or is attached to any particular religion, the country will go in the same side. And at the same time, if the king is evil, the state also will be evil. Therefore, Claudius' actions are evil, and therefore Denmark itself is poisoned with a sickness. And we should understand that Soyinka wrote this when he was imprisoned. And here, all the Nigerian officials were notoriously corrupt, and therefore he says that Nigeria was like Denmark when Claudius was ruling it. Violence and political strife racked the country, which was showing the unnatural state of affairs in Denmark, where brother plots against brother, son against father, and father against mother. Second stanza, he says, Ghost emboweled his earth. He clung to rails in a gallery of abstractions, dissecting tales as told by an idiot. Passionless, he set a stage of passion for the guilt he would engage. Here, Soyinka's imprisonment is like Hamlet's world, where everything becomes less tangible and less real. And here the last sentence refers to the murder of Gonzago, which Hamlet stages so that King Claudius will see that, and that will help him to prove his guilt. And Soyinka's poem demonstrates the ability of the human mind to detach from anger or passion sufficiently to act or write something in a desirable way. And in the final stanza, he says, Justice despaired. The turn and turn abouts of reason danced default to duty's counterpoint, till treachery scratched the slate of primal clay, then metaphysics waved a thought's delay. It took the salt in the wound, the point envenomed too, to steal the prince of doubts. Here, he focuses on Hamlet's wishes to revenge and his constant stailing. It is only in the final scene in the play, when the king and another avenging son, Latrus, organize a sword fight between them, that Hamlet finally acts. Hamlet actually trusts, and the sense of honor causes him not to look at Latrus' sword, which is poisoned. And the wound that he receives is fatal, which leads to his death. Yet, this knowledge spurs Hamlet to murder the king. Thus, Soyinka comments on the paradox of Hamlet's courage arriving at the time when he is physically at his weakest. Because only when he realizes that they have gone to the stage of even murdering him, he realizes that he has delayed a long time, but he is physically weak because he is totally poisoned and wounded in the fight. But then this gives him the courage to go and take his revenge. Here Soyinka relates to his own courage, which managed to rally his spirits during the lowest emotional points of his solitary confinement, because Soyinka is also imprisoned and he is also physically weak at this time. So, Hamlet by Soyinka reflects Nigeria's sickness and its infection. The confusion and horrors of Denmark have their modern day counterpart in Nigeria, and more specifically in the literal and mental imprisonment of Soyinka. It's a beautiful poem by Soyinka. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.